share this work with people, with mankind.
Oh man, Jen, that was so freaking beautiful. And I realized I didn't click go live. So I
Hilarious.
missed all of that freaking beautifulness. But since we just started, I want to I totally forgot to. I'm like, how come people are not watching? Okay, so Jen, there's a little bit of a background noise, a little bit from the either the
Really?
microphone, of course, or
Okay.
something
Here,
like that.
let me just. Oh, it's probably my hair. Okay, let me try this.
Yeah, your hair.
Tell me if
It's
it's
like
still there.
okay, it's gone. Okay, so let's start over. We didn't go too far deep into it. I love what you just said. If you could repeat that, so I'm just gonna start again. Okay, hey guys, welcome to this interview. I forgot to click go live. I'm super excited that you guys are showing up today. So this is a client showcase interview. It's gonna be a casual conversation between me and Jen. Jen just did her first launch, and I love to be able to document my clients at different stages in their journey from their very first launch to the second to the third. And this interview acts twofold. One is to motivate people who are already currently in Ignite and, maybe like they're like scared to launch. And then this is a way to encourage you to move forward. And then the other one is if you are kind of on the fence about investing in yourself or saying yes to yourself in the capacity that you have, that this would motivate you to also shout Jen out and her story, because there's going to be people who listen to this interview who might resonate with me, and then others who might really, really resonate with Jen. So I want to encourage you to go and follow her and her story and her group. And with that said, Jen, let's start over. Tell me about what got you into this crazy rabbit hole of of coaching, especially life coaching, which is something that a lot of people, might have kind of like not a clear understanding of. So let me know what got you into this crazy world.
Yeah, so I'll summarize it. In 2016, I was at a very low point in my life, the very low point. I was super broke. I had to move in with my mom. I was in a series of toxic relationships. I was just rubbing people the wrong way in the way I showed up. And I was just too much. I think I was full of anger, but at the time I didn't even think that I was capable of anger because I was so nice on the outside. And so, it was this whole process when I started my first personal development course out of necessity, really. And I started to really transform my life in a trajectory that was not what I even thought would be possible for me in this lifetime in just such a short amount of time. It was mind-blowing. And so I started to study this more. I started to coach for a transformational coaching company and train with them. And then I got my neuro-linguistic programming certification. And now I'm also starting to do more to deepen my toolkit in different areas of coaching and therapies. Because from having gone through my own personal transformation, being in a very healthy marriage and having multiple successful businesses and adapted to moving to a foreign country and thriving here and having several communities, online communities, in-person communities, and just feeling happy with my life, I want to share this work with humanity and people and just make the world a better place. And so that's the short version.
Well, we don't have to keep it short. I love going into the beautiful details. I love going into all of those things. So you don't have to be like, oh, let me truncate everything that I say. I love the details. But yeah, what got you into our world?
Yep.
What series of events led you to say, okay, Ignite makes sense for you, especially since you already gone through like neurolinguistic programming programs and you've dabbled into coaching before.
Yes, I did have a coaching company before, I forgot to mention, but that was a performance coaching company because I come from the Bay Area. So people are always about results and performance. And so it was a very masculine energy type of coaching versus now I think it's a lot more balanced and holistic. But to answer your question about how I came upon the Ignite program. I met you in like, was that 2016?
A long time ago.
Yeah, I think it
I
was
don't know what
because
year.
Success Academy by Mel, whatever his name. Yeah, and I met Rachel also that year too. Rachel Leslie. Yeah. I was really trying hard to hustle, and I was like in that entrepreneur mindset and just like go, 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 and make a bunch of money and show off on social media kind of, stage in my early 20s. So you helped me also with the ClickFunnels when I was running my commercial real estate group. That was my former career. And I guess when I had this realization in February this year that I wanted to actually commit to focusing on life coaching in my career, because I didn't have the confidence to put my name and face, like, to put it in the forefront, I guess. There was an event that happened where I came out of a narcissistic relationship, and I processed it a lot and learned a lot from it, and came out of it with so much new identity, self-worth, and confidence after having processed it in a healthy way. That I was like, it's time to shine. It's time to go make a difference. Stop playing small, stop hiding. And so I made a post in the Asian Hustle Network, which is a Facebook group for Asian hustlers, and
people who are Asian.
It's like Asians who humble brag. Okay, that's like the whole Facebook group. So I made a post saying like, "Hey, I had this realization. I'm like making this new career, not change, but like I'm going all in on the life coaching, and I don't have a website. I don't have a brand. I don't have like, I don't have any assets or business model, and I'm looking for resources." And so Kim slid into my DMs, and was like, "Hey girl, what's up?" And so, actually I interviewed like 4 marketing companies, but just because I had rapport with Kim, that's why I decided to sign up with Ignite. And I have paid other marketing companies, like for my performance coaching company, I paid $6,000 to someone to help me build a funnel, and no results. But also at the time, like, I don't think I was ready to, I wasn't clear enough to make good use of a program like that, or a service like that. So at this point, I was like, okay, I tried doing it myself before in my previous business, and I have an understanding of the complexities of stuff. So I think I just owe it to myself to have it easy this time around, and to just like give myself the gift of not having to think so hard and figure things out so hard. Granted, I did have to put a lot of like mental energy into defining who I am, what my offer is, and the critical thinking around like my own business and my own model. But like, there were just so many templates, examples, resources, other ways that clients have been doing things, learning from all the group calls, that was, it just made my process so much easier. And then also having the accountability helped me stay on track a lot.
Oh yeah.
So I probably answered more than one question there.
Many questions answered.
Yeah.
I love that for you. You went with me because you had prior rapport with me before you like kind of knew me.
Before you got all the commas. I've been watching you on social, and like just like steadily rising, from
a random person trying to learn affiliate marketing. I think that's when
I remember you were just like rock climbing and selling scrap and like just starting to learn marketing at the time. Yeah.
I was selling scrap material from a scrap yard.
I remember that. I was like, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, that was my life. I'm like, I'm just rock climbing in the desert and I sell car parts. I think when I met you, you were in real estate.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, and something that you said that was super important, like you paid for programs that didn't work before, but part of it was you weren't ready. You weren't ready to kind of be there. And I definitely have done that myself. I paid for programs and things where I'm like, oh wow, this is a lot. Mentally, I'm not there. And I'm glad that you joined us when you're like, okay, let's give myself a shot. I want to dive into that. So you come in and you say, well, a lot of times people, when they have a conversation with our company or just like with me, one of the fears they have is like, can they do this? Is this something they can do if they were to put in the work? And I want to get your perspective in, I know you gave yourself like, you're mentally there and things like that. One of the, like, how did you go through the program that enabled you to feel like, okay, although there's a lot of stuff, this is definitely something that I can do. And I feel like I might have results from it if I were to do it. So can you take me through that journey? Like what do you watch? What do you consume? Who did you speak to? I know that sounds like a lot in a one question, but I love to paint that journey for those who are just coming in and they're like, well, what do I do here? Yeah.
Absolutely. So first, what I want to say about the mindset is in the past, I thought that hiring a marketing company would solve all my problems and just give me a viable business. And this is the marketing company's responsibility. But if I'm not clear what my message is and who I'm trying to speak to, like nobody can solve that for me, because especially if you're doing life coaching, the product is you. It's not like selling weight loss or like financial or even marketing where it's a product, but like no one can figure out me for me. So that's one thing that I got some clarity on. And then when I started, I realized my landing page content was so vague. It was like, my challenge is called Wake Up and Love with Your Life. And I took screenshots of the different versions of it because it was like, have a fulfilling life, like remove negative emotions to find fulfillment and genuine joy. And it was just like really, like if I'm Tony Robbins, I can say stuff like that. But like if I'm every other new life coach just starting, what sets me apart, right? And so this niching down thing, I was like, but I don't want to niche down because I can like help people and I can help everyone. And this work is like universal and these methodologies are, and it's true, but why would they pick me, right? So I had to go through this whole process of like constantly interviewing people who I thought were my target audience, like the Asian Hustle Network. I posted, I asked people if they would review my landing page. And then I'm like, okay, maybe I should speak to Asians. But then I ran ads and like, first of all, no Asians came from ads, like only white people came from my ads, which is, I guess that's cool too. But like you were saying, you find your audience with data. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe my audience is white people. But just to come back to like the process, who did I talk to and what did I do? I had an onboarding call with Priyanka. She's been my account rep. She has been amazing and has always been available to support me and do my weekly accountability calls. And also, there's so much information that I could use in the member, like the school area, which is like where they load the courses and stuff. But it was too much for me, especially doing it the first time. I was getting overwhelmed and like frozen, like just stuck, paralyzed from information overload very often. And I would just tell Priyanka, please like tell me or link me directly to the bare minimums that I need to do. No bells, no whistles. Like I just need to have a minimum viable product. And she did. And I also asked her specifically to send me examples of other people who do life coaching or similar, because a financial advisor's slide deck or a marketing expert slide deck weren't super transferable to what I was trying to do. And so she would give me different examples to get inspiration from, and suggest different prompts that I can put in the AI to help me build out my content more. She did help me come up with like a plan for marketing the challenge 2 weeks prior, daily content. And basically I made up in my mind though, that I'm going to be super coachable. And some of it was very cringe for me, honestly. Like I had one because it felt too marketing, you know, but again, I'm taking templates, just being honest here, from someone who does marketing professionally. And I'm trying to, what is it called? Like plug and play with coaching stuff. And I just ended up rewriting a lot of it myself, which is okay because still it gave me a structure and I understood what the intention of this email template was, for example. And then I'm like, okay, so I just need to write something that sounds like me that delivers the same outcome, basically. So yeah, it was a lot of making it my own, but everything is there in terms of like the structure, which was the most helpful thing for me, having figured it out myself in the past. And they're the weekly accountability calls, the weekly group calls on Monday. Those are led by Kim, and those I like a lot because I also in the beginning was just listening. And then after the first couple of weeks, I had questions of my own. And it was really cool to also learn from other people's journeys. And I've connected with some of them on Facebook as well. And we became buddies, just kind of like, hey, did you start your 5-day challenge? And how's it going? And just kind of buddying up from that. And then I've done the Facebook ads calls with Diana twice to help me with the Facebook ads. I've had several tech support calls with Michael. I've had one sales training call as well. And
with Larry?
Just been using all of the resources that Kim has to offer. She has a big team, which I like a lot because the previous marketing company that I hired was just one guy. And because you have a team of experts that specialize in different things and like different structures for support, I felt like this was a very comprehensive, like robust structure and ecosystem for me also.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Sorry, my maid just came in. Hola. So yeah, I love that. You know, sometimes we hire people because we're like, okay, I trust you. And then they end up being one person running the entire show. And it could be very intimate, but at the same time, sometimes what I've observed our clients need is that they do need that ecosystem to like a little bit tech, sales, messaging, accountability. And it did take like over 3 years to gather everyone and, you know, make sure that they all the coaches and everyone that you've spoken to has been with me for over 3 years. And they just know the ecosystem really well. And so I love that you said that. And you also mentioned that you didn't have to, there's a lot of modules inside of our program, but you didn't have to watch every single one.
I stopped after a certain point because it was just so overwhelming that I was like, Priyanka, please tell me exactly which ones I need to watch to like make it through my week, because I was really, really struggling, especially launch week. I was just like making my slides up to 5 to 10 minutes before I needed to go live. It was like so intense.
Yeah. But you didn't shy away from the intensity. You're just like, I'll just do
again, because I had mentally committed. It's like, I'm tired of being almost there. And like, I just want my big break. And I know that I'm just going to have to be coachable, work the systems, put in the work, and just do it, you know? Because for me, like one of my old patterns is to get almost there. And then like for me, imposter syndrome was a really big thing in my space around running my challenge. What if no one signs up? What if no one gets a breakthrough and I'm just a fraud and like a joke of a life coach? Like all these, you know, thoughts were there. And what if no one signs up? Like, what if people who sign up actually start trolling and saying, you know, mean things? And so I was like, that stopped me in the past. And I'm like, no, not this time.
Yeah. I love that. You identified a pattern that I'm sure is not like something that only you feel, but a lot of people who are coming into even the coaching space, not to mention life coaching. And you're very young looking.
Yeah. I am young too. That
No,
was
you
one of
are
the other
young
things
and you're
too,
young
yeah.
looking. I'm not saying you're you're young looking, but you're old. But yeah,
Could be.
that's
Asians
okay.
are in general.
Asian don't raisin. Just kidding. But yeah, like you're young and you're teaching life coaching, so you had to uh, go through those mental hurdles to say let's go. And
That's true.
I want to you mentioned like there are differences that you've experienced in terms of um, the other programs that you went through. You mentioned one difference is that we have a team, pretty big team with a more comprehensive ecosystem and approach. What other things did you feel like contributed to your success? Was there anything specific in particular? I know that you had to narrow down your messaging. Can you walk me through any other things, or was that like the big, mostly it, like the fact that it's a comprehensive team and you did a minimum viable launch, so you didn't
Yeah.
have to watch a bunch of videos?
I like that there were a lot of templates and very clear step-by-step instructions and schedules, and I didn't have to think so hard. I had to think a lot about my product and my offer, but I didn't have to think so hard about the marketing, which is exactly what you offer. And also with the other marketing company, he had one funnel. It was a very one-trick pony kind of deal. And you guys are very flexible with all the different, I mean, the main thing is to help with the 5-day challenge. But in addition to that, like if I have that under my belt, then there's all these different ways I could go with it as well, and create different types of content and offers from it. So I also like I'm not there yet, but I do like that you have like a very holistic marketing strategy. That you also help clients hire and expand their teams and scale their businesses as well. It's not just like creating marketing for a course.
Yeah, definitely not just marketing for one course. Because we help you scale out beyond your
Yeah, it's
first.
very holistic. Yeah.
I love that. I can you as you're going through the process, when did you feel like it was a win for you when you were going through the program? How long did it take for you to feel like, okay, this I can do this? Although you've already committed, because you mentioned, hey, I committed already, so I'm gonna win no matter what. But like, what was that moment that you're like, okay, I feel it's I always ask this question, which is, what was your time to first win? Your experience of your first win?
Can I say many?
Yes.
Okay. The first is when I paid, because for me, it's a big chunk of change. And I'm like, I have committed, I'm 2 feet in, I have to. And the thing is, I paid from a company that I co-own with my husband. So I had the accountability to pay it back to our company. It wasn't just like my personal funds, right? So I was like, I have to make this back ASAP. So that was the first. The second is when I started to get my landing page to a point where I'm like, I remember now. I sent my landing page to a girlfriend who's also an NLP coach, and we're like work besties, and we kind of offer the same thing, but we're very different people. And one day she read my landing page. She's like, I wouldn't buy this. None of this language speaks to me. And I'm like, I've niched down. I'm polarizing. Okay, this is a big deal for a people pleaser, because I'm trying to be everyone's person, right? And I was so happy that she was like, I don't resonate with this messaging. And I was like, I'm niching down. So that was another one. And then some people I sent it to were like, oh, I really resonate with these pain points. So I'm like, yeah. The next is when I ran ads, and I actually
can you tell me the time to?
Oh yeah. Sorry. Okay.
Like the landing page.
Landing page 2 weeks in.
Okay.
Ads I started running 3 weeks in, because I did my challenge 5 weeks after signing up. But that was because I took a week-long like family vacation. So I was aiming for 4 weeks, but then extended to 5 because of the trip. So I started running ads week 3 through 5, and then my ads didn't actually run because my ad budget was so low that I couldn't even push a single ad. And I was like, oh crap, why are my ads not working? So I tried to run them 2 weeks prior, but then I ended up running them 1 week prior. And then on the first day, I spent, I think, like 25 euros, and I started to get like 10 signups or something. It was like 2 euros a lead. It was like, it was good. I was like, oh my God, this is so validating, right? And so that was like a huge win. It's like Facebook ads actually work, because I've done ads before and nothing happened. And I'm like, I just, thought ads were a total waste of money. Here, by the way, this is one of the other like mindset things, but like for me, because I've had so many experiences where I've tried things and they didn't work, I just kind of wrote off like, marketing companies don't work, ads don't work, like this is all just BS. And, I had to change those beliefs to like actually start getting new results, because DIY wasn't working either. Okay, so coming back to the wins, when I started to get a huge influx of people asking to join my Facebook group, and then I had like 40 people to approve the day before, I was like, yes. So that was, I had like 90 people sign up for the email list, but then only like 40 or 50 joined the Facebook group, which is, I guess, okay. I would say like 20 were organic, and then the rest were from the ads. And then the day one homework, when people started posting, it was like, I just wiped all my content. I removed it today, but I downloaded everything. And there were like 30 comments in the day one homework of people who caught up on the recordings over the weekend. And people shared paragraphs, like poured their hearts out. And I was just like, this is a huge win, because I just got together a bunch of strangers on a Facebook group. Like, they're sharing their guts out. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I feel so validated. Okay, first of all, out of the 30, I think 15 comments are mine, because I like acknowledged everyone. So like, okay, I got 15 unique comments, but still, I'm like, yeah. And then other wins, I guess every single day that I did a live and a saw homework was a big win for me, because I was literally surviving day by day that week. And then when I got my first sale, literally when I did my pitch, there was one woman who was just like straight up ready to buy. And I was like, there's a part of the script where you say, what was it? Like, do you mind if I show you how? No, it's, all of these things, all these benefits, and like, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, do you mind if I show you how to continue working with me and expanding on the dream method that you just learned and whatever.
Yeah.
I have something to say about that too. I'll come back to it. So she was like, yes, like she was enthusiastic for me to like pitch her basically. And the second I like started pitching, she's like, I'm in. And I sent her the Stripe link that same night, and she signed up right away and got all the disappearing bonuses. So that was like super big win, super validating that she was so excited. And then she's also referring her son to me potentially for one-on-ones. But she bought my 10-week package. And then another huge win is my husband wanted to support me by watching my videos and doing my training to support his wife, but he actually applied and did, like, he played full out like every other participant. And he was like, I had no idea that this is the work you do. And I want to do your 10-week program and also hire me for performance coaching for his company, because he has employees that work for him. And he actually paid me like a real client. And I was like, no fucking way. And it was like the most like, because you think your spouse, right? Like, oh yeah, my wife, she's amazing. She's a life coach. But he was just like, one participant was like, I think you just fell in love with your wife again. And it was just like the most wholesome interaction in my recording. I was just like, I was so shocked. I was like, I was not expecting that. Like, oh my God. And then one of my big wins was also, there was a woman who just like had such a rough life. And when she booked her one-on-one with me, I was already researching like hardcore therapists to refer her to, because I was like, I don't know if I can handle this call with her. Like, she's been through so much grief and loss and like hardship in her life. And at the end of our call, I gave her a free session because I just wanted to help her. And she was like, this has been more valuable than so much paid therapy that I've done before. Thank you so much. Like, I felt very seen and heard. And I was like, so yeah, I don't know, so many wins. And then I'm having a lot of follow-up conversations, making a smaller offer now, and just offering that now that everyone who wants to do the 10-week has signed up. So yeah. I did want to mention one more thing, by the way. I wanted to come back to okay. So my thing is called the Dream Method. And I did not have the Dream Method 2 months ago. It didn't exist. I think this was one of the most valuable things that I can't believe I skipped over. But like in the Ignite, you learn how to create your methodology, or like an acronym that is packaging your teaching, I guess. And for me, I created DREAM as an acronym. And that has been like, I guess, the missing thing of how to package what I have to sell and offer. And yeah, have a product. I didn't have a product before. And yeah, so that's been huge.
Oh man, so many things that you said that was like so good. It was so good. The fact that your husband really understands what it is that you do and what you love to do, and hiring you for his company and then or for himself, and that's so crazy. I didn't know about that. That's so amazing.
Also today, someone sent me a screenshot that my challenge was posted in a Rwanda lady entrepreneur group, because I had one participant from Rwanda and one from Uganda, and I had someone from China, and I had East Coast to West Coast US and several European countries. So I counted like at least 10 countries and 4 continents in my challenge. And it's like, I'm starting global was just like, for me, I was like what I'm teaching is universal. It works on all kinds of people in all parts of the world, dealing with all kinds of problems in all sorts of income situations and careers. And I was just so moved by that. And so I also decided to create a scholarship program, because I live in Eastern Europe, and people here, like, my 2,000 euro 10-week program is 4 months of salary for some people. And for people in Rwanda, that's like, you make way less than that, you know? Yes. Granted, they're expats, but still. And so I decided one of my scholarships, so they teach you different ways to like get people to take action, right? I didn't offer one scholarship to a person who signed up. I offered a 300 euro discount to everyone who did all 5 days of homework. And for the people who get the 300 euro discount, because I also have a lot of clients from the Bay Area, I will, because but for now, because that's just where my network is. And I'm asking them, would you be willing to donate that 300 euros to someone who applies for a scholarship in the future? And then these people from countries like Bulgaria, Serbia, Romania, Africa, whatever, can apply and write a very compelling like application letter why they think they deserve this scholarship and what they're going to do with it. And then I'm going to use that pool of people who do have the money to basically show them the letter and be like, would you like to invest your 300 euro discount in this person to have them participate and make this work accessible for them? So it doesn't cheapen my product, and it's like bringing the community together, and strangers helping strangers. So that's something I came up with like 2 days ago.
That's so good. Yeah. And you said the DREAM method wasn't here for you 2 months ago. So it's like, it's very rapid growth.
I had a bunch of tools, I had a bunch of NLP tools, a bunch of CBT tools, a bunch of coaching methodologies and tools and exercises, but no catchy packaged product.
Yeah. And I think when you're coming online and it's your first launch, a lot of times it's like the things we don't know. We don't know that to package it that way. We think, okay, here's my program. I'm just going to say, these are what the deliverables are, versus selling like a unique method that sells the process itself. Which you said that, your first launch is global and it starts with a Facebook group, and there's like 15 unique people like pouring their hearts out, but every single person is a real person that exists, that is part of communities and can share your message and your gift. So that was very touching to hear that in a global way you're being shared all over, and it speaks to the power of how much people like want to be healed, want to be coached this way. So I love that. I love that you mentioned that. And yeah, it's when you're telling me this stuff, like even though ourselves, we have over close to 400 testimonials now from stories all over the place. Every single time I hear like a new story, I'm just like so shocked and amazed. It just brings me back to like, oh my gosh, this is such a wonderful journey to be on, to help people.
Yeah. And it probably presences you to your why, like why you're helping all these people get their work known also, so they can do more good in the world and help more people.
Yeah. And a lot of it is mental as well. So I want to dive a little bit deep into more specific into that, which is like, when you think about it, and you're going about like who this environment would work for, and what type of coaching. I know you are life coaching, but there's all types of coaches that enroll with us, or just people who aren't even coaches, but like different service-based businesses. What after having experienced a little bit over a month in the program, what do you think that this ecosystem would fit for? Like who would benefit from this ecosystem in your perspective?
So if you're a beginner and you don't have infrastructure yet, I think it would benefit someone who is very, very clear and made up their mind that you're going to implement the system and make it work for you, and just be completely coachable. I think if you have an established business and offer, it would be really good, because then you already have the product and the assets, and this can just really help you optimize it. And I think a lot of it is just working smarter than harder for people who already have that. I think it's very important to have clarity on what it is that you want to accomplish and do. And it's for people who, it's not for people who think a marketing company is going to solve all their problems. Actually, you have done for you. So maybe it is actually, you have done for you for that. So yeah, actually, let's see. It's for people who, who don't want to figure it out the hard way and do it yourself, but not as a crutch. Again, you cannot use this program as a crutch. You have to also use it as a partner, if you will, in your success. So, did that answer your question?
Yeah. I was looking also for if like a specific niche mattered.
Yes. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think life coaching is a little bit difficult because for me, it's a very, I'll say who I think it is good for. Let's put it that way. I think it's good for people who offer how-tos in your products, how to create wealth, how to do marketing, how to get fit, how to, you know, it's easy when you're selling financial results as well. And for me, it's like having to come up with, in a lot of the examples, for example, it was like, imagine having a marketing company and making this much money from using my proven systems, and your investment is only this much. When you use, or investment, for example, if you learn these financial wealth building strategies, imagine how much it's going to make you for this tiny investment now. But for me, I'm selling like, imagine waking up in love with your life for the rest of your life for 2,000 euros. So it's like, it's a little bit harder. It can be done, of course, people do it all the time, but it's just like, it's not as I think I had to use a lot more charisma and rapport than the marketing side of it, because you really don't want to sound gimmicky for those people. Like they really need to like trust you and feel safe and like connected with you and like whatever. I used a lot of the extra stuff to just build more rapport, like VIP sessions and the one-on-ones. I know there's supposed to be like sales opportunities, but like for me, it was majority just more rapport building, and then a little bit of soft selling. Yeah, I may rework that in the future, but what else? I think also for me, I didn't have a lot of freebies to give, no guides, no step-by-step thingies, no worksheets. Again, like the first time I ran it, no bells and whistles, but I think for a lot of the other industries, you have like a financial calculator, or you have like manuals and guides and step-by-step how to do things. But with coaching, it's like, I can give you a worksheet to write affirmations, or I can like give you these, but they don't work. They're not practical. I will still make them in the future, but it doesn't have, I don't know, the kind of effect that or the impact maybe that I would want to leave them with, that I think, like when you have a step-by-step guide on how to set up the perfect ad or a financial calculator, immediately it's just like very clear. It's like results. But in terms of like worksheet for my business, I have to think of, I don't know, other things that I would resonate more with, I guess.
Yeah. And you are, and as a first time, having your offer, putting together your acronym, putting together your methodology, you're still able to convert, even if you didn't have all of that in place. Because one of the biggest things that I hear is like, let me go and create like a bunch of stuff before I do this, because then I would be successful. And it's cool that you said, no bells and whistles.
Yeah. Those things will come. I think once I have more content, I can repurpose it and have different levels of offer. But right now, the only thing I'm trying to sell is a high ticket. So if I had a lower offer, then of course the worksheets and things, it's like I'm getting the value that I paid for. So those will come as well. Yeah. I'm not discrediting like affirmations worksheets and stuff. I'm just saying, to sell a high ticket offer, I need way more rapport.
Yeah. And when I spoke to you about this program, I said, hey, it's a very much do you see type of, logic. Like, do you see that if you can solve this and this and this, would you like, and then your pitch is just a warm invitation to come and work with you. That's what happened. You built the rapport, and then your invitation is really warm. And so, so it becomes like, that leads me to my next question, which is, how, if you do everything that we tell you to do, not like the entire thing, minimum viable launch, what are their chances of failure? I get this question so often. But like, what, how can I fail, Kim? And I would love for you to answer that. And like, if someone were to be like, how, what are the chances of failure with this thing if you were to put in the work? Yeah.
I asked Priyanka this question. I'm like, what if no one signs up? What if no one even comes to the challenge? Like, because I have all weird time zone stuff going on too with all the people in different geographies. And I was like, what if I just like, I'm talking to like I had a lot of considerations and fears.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's just like, then you just run it again in 2 weeks. And I was like, oh. She's like, yeah, don't expect any sales. Just run it. Just do it once. And then even if no one signs up, people will refer. Your ads will have like established more, and you'll have the system down, and you can just keep running it until you start getting people. And I was like, okay, I can do that. Like that gave me so much relief, honestly, because I was like, what if no one signs up? And like, I'm like, but what if 2 people sign up? I don't want to deliver a 10-week program for just 2 people. She's like, no, you just collect their money and you tell them, we'll do the road mapping call now, and then I'll run the challenge again and get more signups, and then we'll do it when we're ready and just like get the soft commitment. And you don't need to have, honestly, I didn't have my 10-week offer built out until literally the day of, like, I told you I was surviving the week. I had an idea of what I wanted to offer, but I was just like, literally, this is how I sold it. I'm like, you got so much value in 5 days. Like literally you went from people pleasing to realizing you can put yourself first and make everyone happy because you're happy. Like, this is mind blowing. Imagine if you can get that in 1 day or 5 days, what we would create in 10 weeks. That's what I'm signing up. Like, that's like literally what I pitched. 10 weeks price. It's going to include, 2 individual sessions with me. It's going to have, for bonuses, I just gave more one-on-one sessions. I'm like, if you sign up on Thursday, you get 4 free sessions. If you sign up on Wednesday, you get 3, 2, and then 1. Like, I had a Word document, 1 page with like a couple of bullet points, and then like a Stripe link URL at the bottom for people. I'm like, it's so janky, you know what I mean? And I was just like, rapport's there though. I'm just gonna go with this. Yeah. So, oh my god, I don't even remember your initial question.
Oh yeah, like failure. What are the
so yeah, you can start like this, where like literally, okay, my slides are like white PPT with black text in like, I don't know, Helvetica or not, something super, just like, I have the most basic slides. Kim had like 130 in her first one. I had like way less than that. Granted, a lot of them are testimonials, which I don't have yet, but
like 50% testimonial slides. Yeah. No, when I started, it was barely anything. It was black and white. It was so basic.
Yeah. Literally like 2 sentences of text, a slide deck. That's like, and then Word doc, a sales page. So yeah.
Let's go. Yeah, I love hearing that, because people they hype themselves up. I gotta get a landing page, I gotta get sales, I got a sales page, all this stuff, the graphics created, and then you're like, no, it's a Google document, and here's a Stripe link. And
Priyanka gave me that idea. Yeah, because she's just like, I looked at this and I'm like, there's no way I can create this. And she's like, well, use this like presentation AI. And I did, and it sucked. And I was like, okay, that didn't help. So then I'm like, okay, I need to do the things. And she's just like, here's some examples of people who like just bare minimums. And she gave me a Word doc example. I'm like, people do that? So I was like, okay, cool, I can do that. So it like, she kind of gauged me where I was at, like what I was able to put in, and gave me examples of like different ways I could minimize and basic things down. I appreciated that for sure.
Yeah. And I want to ask about time saved. Like, let's say you said DIY doesn't really work that well for you in the past, or how your personality is. How, I know that you can't really like tell time or look back and say, I saved this much, but in your mind, how did Ignite save you in terms of time and helping you out in that way?
I think I got more results in these 5 weeks that I signed up with you than I did in 2 years of running my own performance coaching business. Not like financially yet, but like trajectory wise. Oh yeah. So I was in my previous business that I had, the performance coaching one, I ran so many different courses on so many different topics to try to figure out which area to focus on. I did wealth, I did relationships, I did goal setting, I did like just so many different one-off workshops and challenges, even with no conversion to something higher ticket. I did book studies. Like there were all these things you could try. And I was like, okay, well, I'll try that. I'll try that. I'll try that. And I was getting a lot of organic. I didn't use ads. So now I have faith in ads. Yeah, no one was really buying high ticket. So I was selling a lot of like mid and low ticket. And right here on my first launch, I'm selling some high ticket. So, and I know when I run this challenge again, I'll get more. So yeah, 5 weeks is more impactful than 2 years.
So cool.
And it's like getting it right with the first product, you know, it's not like I have to test 6 different courses just to see which one people are interested in.
Oh yeah, and which is what a lot of people think about too. They're like, I could offer so much. Let me test out a bunch of things. Yeah. And I say, we help you figure out the thing, your validation launch. And so we help you with that process, which is what was very beneficial to you to create that DREAM acronym and your program. I love that. All right. We are at the end of this interview. I like to create like a short clip, which is like time to first win is this, how many clients do you enroll, how much you made, what is your niche. So just to clip that out from this interview, like just answer my question in rapid succession. What's your time to first win?
Sorry, can you define first win?
Where you felt like it was a win for you in the program. You're like, okay, you said day one when you paid, or you said 2 weeks.
I'm going to do the 2-week one. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Time to first win.
Yeah. Time to first win was 2 weeks in when I actually created a polarizing landing page and someone was like, I wouldn't sign up for this. I'm like, yes, I have a niche.
Let's go. Time to launch.
5 weeks. 5
because
weeks to
1
launch.
week was a vacation.
But yeah, because 1 week was a vacation. Yep.
Yeah.
Should I say that all in one sentence or?
I
can say it again.
So go, say it again.
Time to launch was 5 weeks from when I signed up, but that's because I had 1 week vacation. So it would have been 4 working weeks.
Nice. And then how many clients did you enroll and how much did you make?
Yep. So I enrolled 2 clients at 2,200 euros. One of them is referring her son to me, and we're going to talk about a one-on-one package. And then I have 2 prospects for my downsell, which is 1,000 euros. And in addition, I have the other client who's signed up is in discussions with me about corporate consulting and doing performance coaching for his team at work. And yeah.
And then with that said, time to first win, time to how much do you make? And what does it look like for you now? How has your perspective shift for this world from before you joined Ignite to after? Like, how did your perspective shift? And what do you see now for yourself?
I was dealing with imposter syndrome about like, will I fail as a life coach before this? And coming out of it, I have a product. People are buying it. Strangers off the internet are participating from over 10 countries, over 4 continents in my first challenge. So it's already global. And a lot of people are referring and sending their friends for the next one. And I just feel so validated as a life coach and also my offer as well. And I feel very confident and like, I see myself going really, really big in a very short amount of time. And so do people when they're writing me testimonials for this course. Like, I don't know how you're giving all this away for free. It's not going to stay free for long. Like it's I feel really good. So thank you.
Yeah. And did you have to have a huge audience for you to get these wins? Like, how many people actually watched you? And, yeah.
So I was seeing up to 23 unique watchers on like my recordings. So I would say maybe like up to 25 people who actually went through the training.
That is phenomenal. 25 people, global, and 2 conversion, and you're just getting started, and it has validated your journey as well, to have this be something people really want and need and look forward to and excited to share. So
I think it's been a really long time coming, and the timing was just really right, where it's like the marketing part, like what you offer was just like it fit in really well. So yeah.
Well, I'm glad I hit you up and be like, yo, what's up? What you doing? What you doing over there? I have a solution.
But that's the same with anyone. Like, that's like me going up to people being like, hey, I see like you posted that you're struggling with this thing. What's up? Like, let's talk. It's the same thing. So yeah, you were there for me. And I'm glad.
Amazing. Let's go, Jen. So I want to shout you out. Guys, if you're listening, Jen, she committed to doing the work. She went and did the work. She did a super minimum viable launch. She had a week-long vacation in between her launch. And she's able to go and create this shift in before it was imposter syndrome. Now she has a gift to share to the world, packaged in a way that really resonates with so many people. And that's incredible. But it's because Jen was the type of person to go and move forward and do the work and put in the time. And I know that, with minimum viable launch, how much time did you believe you invested in yourself through this journey? If you were to get rid of, like, let's say, all the Netflix watching, or which I don't think you do, but like all of the ancillary like little things, and if you were to just cut it all the way down to the actual time.
I have other businesses, right? I literally neglected them. I did not talk to my employees for like 2 weeks because this was all I was doing. And guess what? I also took weekends. Like, I actually took weekends off because I would have killed myself. Okay, that's dramatic, but so I would say probably a 40-hour work week for the 4 weeks that I was working on average. Yeah.
Nice.
But a lot of it was thinking. It was thinking, like, just.
What about actually doing? What about the actual launch, the actual doing of the stuff?
I mean, the thinking was really part of the doing, because I wouldn't have come up with my niche and
That's true.
Yeah. So it was thinking directly related to the product and everything. Actual doing, like typing on the computer and
showing up.
I would say, I want to say, probably half of that, I guess, like 20, 25 hours a week.
Okay.
Yeah. Awesome. So for people who are already clear, then you don't have to do all the thinking that I did.
Yeah. Amazing. All right, Jen, I love this. Thank you so much for showing up. So for those of you who've been listening and you want to follow Jen's journey, Jen, go ahead and shout out, where can they find you? And what is your Facebook group, or what is your social media handles online?
Yeah, so it's Jen Katsev. I'm JenKatsev on Facebook, Instagram. Those are the 2 that I use mostly. And then I have the link for my challenge here if you want to study my landing page even, or sign up to create the life of your dreams. Either way. I've been sharing this with all my classmates, because I'm just like, if I can, share and help you as a buddy, like, I'm all about that. So
I love it. I love your journey, Jen. I mean, I saw you were, we're connected on Facebook. So I saw you like going through your marriage and built like the B company and things like that. And so when I saw that you wanted to coach, I was like, hey, you should try out what we have to bring this vision of yours to life. And I'm glad that we've had that connection for years, and you were able to trust me to help you. So this is the first of many interviews. I want to interview you on your next bigger win. And like you said, you do see such a big vision for yourself with bringing this to the world, and I want to help support you in that. So thank you so much for showing up today. So Jen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the recording, and then we'll be in like the green screen room of StreamYard, and then I'll say bye there, or we can like catch up there. All right, you guys. So that's the interview with Jen, life coach extraordinaire. And if you are on the fence to joining Ignite at groupconvert.com/ignite, and you feel like, okay, you want to deliver your gift to the world, you want to package it in a way that makes sense, even if it's your very, very first launch ever, what vehicle or who can help you, we can be one of those options, as we have done with Jen and over 350 other clients. And we would love to support you in that journey. All right, cool. Have a great rest of your day over there. And I'll see you in the next video. All right.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Kim. Bye, everyone.